Good evening everyone. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Rameez and I am a filmmaker and a film critic, and today's movie is The Conjuring Part 2.
You're going to die.
The Conjuring 2 is the sequel to the widely successful and the rightfully successful The Conjuring. It stars Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as the Warrens. This time around they are investigating in London where a spirit has taken over an 11-year-old girl. The girl in question is Janet. She's part of the Hodgson family. Horror films, when done right, can be so much fun. The only thing that sours this movie is that it was a real story, and it kind of makes me feel sad for the family that went through this stuff. So we have similar things happening in this film that happened in the first film as well. Clocks stop working, mirrors play a big role in this film. Characters do stupid things as they do in horror films. I mean, why would you play with something that looks so creepy? And the film looks absolutely creepy and dark. That's one thing that impressed me about this film. They made London look like crap. London looked like Detroit. Film feels like The Exorcist, whereas the recreation of that time period reminds me of something like Watchmen. The issue I have with this film is its length and pacing. This film should be slower paced in my opinion, and Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are incredible actors, and they're too good for movies in my opinion. The best thing about them is when Patrick Wilson is in a role where he's not miscast. He's been miscast a couple times. He can act brilliantly. He can underact and not make it look like underacting, and the same goes for Vera Farmiga. The thing is, the script is so good and the actors make the characters so much better, and it makes me say my two favorite words like ever. They make real characters. They're not just insane church people. They get mad, they get nervous, and they're scared of these demons like everyone else. Real characters. The characters are written so well and the actors make it even better. That's why I think they should have gotten more time with it. That's why I want this to be a TV show. Another reason why I think The Conjuring 2 would have benefited by being a TV show and the stretch of pace and time is because of familiarity. If you've seen The Conjuring 1, there's a ton of stuff that happens which is very similar to the first one. I mean, we have a girl who sleepwalks in this one, and we have bite marks as well. However, it's not all bad, and it's just a testament to show James Wan's creativity and the excellence of the script. The film has its fair share of jump scares, but they're not visual. They're reliant on audio. Audio plays a big part in the film, bigger than visual, like all horror films. The introduction of the spirit is really well handled in a bedroom when both sisters are trying to sleep, and a conversation with the spirit is handled so beautifully. We don't even see the thing that's trying to talk to Ed Warren. He's just sitting in the background, possessed into Janet, and she's all out of focus. It's a really cool sequence, and they hold on that shot for the whole conversation. The camera work in this film is incredible, the shot composition specifically. You can get away with so much in horror. You can go like really crazy and put the camera in weird places and get all these weird angles as well, because the point of horror is to make you feel uneasy, and those angles make you feel uneasy. The opening sequence is so much fun to watch, man. It's a passionately shot intro. It has its fair share of artsy and schlock. There's a great wide shot with Lorraine Warren's vision standing on one side of the frame and her meditating body on the other side of the frame, and a door panel in the middle of the frame, and the door panel comes into play later. You'll see when you watch the beginning of the film. But sticking to camera work, this isn't as conventional horror films go. Horror films rely on stillness a lot. The camera's on the Steadicam quite a bit in this film. If I were to compare this film with cinematography on another film, I would say that this is a mixture of the cinematography of The Evil Dead, Carrie, and The Shining, all put into one. The best part of this film, however, to me, came in the gist of a subplot, and the gist of that subplot is basically believers versus non-believers. It uses the right characters, such as TV personalities, law enforcement, make a case of this whole thing being BS. It's a nice little theme that added so much to the film, and it expands on the Warrens and their line of work a lot. There's a great scene where the Warrens are defending themselves on television in the first act. It's fantastic. This is a wildly entertaining film. Keyword entertaining. It's far more entertaining than its predecessor, and it's far more fun than the original Conjuring as well. The cool camera work goes really well with the cool ideas. One of my favorite shots is of a spirit emerging from the walls. Yeah, it comes through the walls. This is a very fun film to watch. However, If you've seen The Conjuring 1 and you weren't a fan of it, I find it hard to believe that you'll be a fan of this one, as a lot of the stuff done in the first one is also done in this one. However, with that being said, this is still a must-see film. Rather than going and seeing the must-misses that came out this week, go see The Conjuring Part 2. I'm giving this film a final score of 4 out of 5. This is impeccable filmmaking, impeccable screenwriting, and it feels like a love letter to classic horror films, and it's relatively original enough to feel fresh. This is one of the best movies of this year. I urge you to go see The Conjuring Part 2. See it twice, man. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that free subscribe button. And if you want to connect with me, I am on Twitter and Snapchat. Same username, Rameez Film Geek. Add me there, we'll have some fun there. And I will be seeing you again next time. Until then, remember to love yourselves.